The holiday season is over, but the cold weather is sticking around. Luckily, Home Chef is delivering new hearty recipes and your favorite comfort foods to help you stay cozy. Home Chef delivers fresh ingredients and chef-designed recipes conveniently to your doorstep to simplify your cooking experience. Users of leading meal kits have rated Home Chef #1 in quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. For a limited time, Home Chef is offering my listeners 18 free meals, plus free dessert for life. And, of course, free shipping on your first box. Go to homechef.com/ratchet. That's homechef.com/ratchet for 18 free meals and free dessert for life. Homechef.com/ratchet. Must be an active subscriber to receive free dessert. When we're trying to make progress, life's curveballs often feel like taking one step forward and two steps back. A Chime checking account makes financial progress easier with features like no maintenance fees, fee-free overdraft up to $200, or getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Learn more at chime.com/ratchet. With Chime, you're joining a community with millions of members who are working on financial progress. Chime helps you make progress with fee-free overdraft up to $200. Your next deposit is applied to your balance. Get spotted on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. To date, Chime has spotted over $30 billion. And my favorite part about Chime, they make it easy to access your money with over 50,000 fee-free ATMs. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/ratchet. That's chime.com/ratchet. Chime feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank North America or Stride Bank North America. Members FDIC. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in SpotMe and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-state network ATMs. The conversations we have on this show really get me thinking. And when I want to dive deeper or level up, I want to hear from the best. Luckily, I can do just that with Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best. For just $10 a month, an annual membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. And you can access Masterclass on your phone, computer, smart TV, or even audio mode. Use improv to overcome your fears with Amy Poehler, or turn your passion into achievements with cultural icon Martha Stewart. And the classes really make a difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their life. I watched the Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix, and I just wanted more and more Martha Stewart. Masterclass had me covered. Martha's Masterclass will teach you how to think outside the box and level up. I loved it. Masterclass is offering an exclusive offer for Ratchet and Respectable listeners at masterclass.com/ratchet. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/ratchet. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/ratchet. Masterclass.com/ratchet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't identify as either, you are listening to Ratchet and Respectable. It is Monday, January 28th. I'm still in Belize. I think I actually might leave this week. That means nothing. I am likely to get on my next flight out. That's good. That's like we're moving in the direction of an exit. When I left, I think the high temperature was something like 20 degrees, and I was like, I'm over it. Anything under 40, I feel like I should be wearing a fur. My temperature has not dysregulated from used to being warm all the time because, I was living in Africa and it was summer. Just being in Africa, it's not hot all the time, but it was summer where I was. And then, I came back in winter, which among the ideas I've had in life, that may not be the best one, but nevertheless, it was an idea. It was actionable. It happened, whatever. The rain and the clouds have gone away. It is bright and sunny and hot as fuck outside in Belize. It's lovely. It's wonderful. Over the weekend, like the first nice day, I went back to the beach, the hotel I was staying at, Mahogany Bay, Hilton in San Pedro, Belize is where I was staying. I can tell you that because I've switched hotels. I moved to the other side of the island. The side I was on was the side with all like the beautiful, ritzy, fancy resorts, and it was lovely. I mean, I stayed for a week, but the other side of the island is kind of like where more of the expats live. And, if I decide to come back to Belize and, stay a while, I wanted to know what it would kind of be like to live here, like to go to the grocery store and, in the mornings walk to my coffee and all of that. So that's what I did. Although technically I'm in a hotel, but I feel like it's an apart hotel, like it's a long stay kind of situation. There's a microwave in my room. There's a decent sized refrigerator. The other hotel didn't have that. That's not the point. The point is the hotel I was staying at, they had a private beach that was closed because, it was raining. It was super windy, but it stopped raining and the wind calmed down. So I took a boat from the hotel to the private beach to, see the sunset. And then the following day, I guess that was Sunday? Monday. Because I went to the beach yesterday and I was like, which day did I go to that beach? I took a boat to, I keep wanting to call it Kai. It's Key Calker. It's another small island, like 30 minutes away. And it's like super beachy, super hippie. Like you don't really need shoes. I have like these sparkling Jesus sandals. I took them off to like walk around barefoot. Got these really cute, bright colored houses, really cute restaurants, 50 million people cooking up, grilling, seafood, chicken, lobster, so much lobster on the side of the road. It smelled like heaven. Oh my gosh. But I made a little friend while I was here, a woman. She's in town celebrating her 50th birthday and she's traveling solo as well. And we just hit it off. We were at a beach at the same time and we just like struck up a conversation. So we decided to go visit the island together. It's great company. We just hung out for the day and got some food and hung out literally on like the dock of guess it's not a bay, the sea, the Caribbean Sea. I got a really interesting phone call. I wish I could tell you about it. If it comes to fruition, I can share. Hopefully it will, because this would be quite exciting, I think. But yeah, Belize has been dope. Yesterday, I went back to Secret Beach. I think I told y'all about that place. There's this place, I saw it on Instagram called Blue Bayou. It's a restaurant. It's like a shack type restaurant on stilts in the water. They have benches and umbrellas like in the actual water. Like you can just like wade on out. It goes up to, I guess, like boob level for me. I'm 5'3". But you can just go and like literally sit in the water and, eat your food, drink your drink, spend your time, listen to the music, whatever. So I had my book with me. I'm still not done with that King book. I've slowed down my reading because it's a really like enjoyable read. And I have maybe, I don't know, I think 75 pages to go. So I'm ahead of schedule for me. So I went out there yesterday just one more time because I really, really, really enjoy it. And I was obsessing about it while I was on Instagram. So, the most time I can spend out there, the merrier. Oh, about the book, just as a housekeeping reminder, we have an official book for our unofficial book club. I know people don't listen to every episode of the podcast. King by Jonathan Eig. It's spelled E-I-G. That is our official, unofficial book club pick for the month of February. My ask is that you pick up the book from a Black-owned bookstore and you complete your reading by the end of February. That's the goal. I told you last episode that we have an interview with the author coming up, which I'm really excited about. And then also I secured a good friend, Panama. You know Panama from Very Smart Brothers, Panama Jackson. He's a professor over at Howard. And also, acclaimed journalist, all of that. But also my really good friend. I reached out to him and I was like, hey, you love books like I love books. Can I convince you to read a 600-page book and then discuss it with me as part of my book club? And he was like, actually, I already have the book. And I was like, perfect. I love when the friend circle is aligned. So Panama is going to discuss the book with me. So it's not just like me ranting and raving. Not ranting about the book, ranting about some things in the book. Because I told you I scribbled the N-word several times. While the author is describing the activities of some of the people involved in the civil rights movement. I'm like, I know y'all just human. I was like, I know y'all are ordinary people doing extraordinary things, but I'm like, surely this is not the best behavior you have to give. It can't be. It's impossible. I guess another bit of housekeeping. I haven't been talking much about the new administration. I think last episode we talked about the release of some records about Martin Luther King and JFK and Bobby Kennedy. I've been thinking a lot about how to do this podcast within this current administration. And I haven't been able to figure out an answer to that right now. And it's not even about like the censorship aspect of it. It hasn't hit the podcast just yet, to my knowledge. I don't know what else I have to add to the conversation about politics right now, other than repeating what the fuck over and over and over. And while it may be a popular sentiment for half of the population, probably all of the population listening, I don't know if that's enjoyable to listen to. And I think in this current climate, we need a lot of joy, and we need safe spaces while we're living under essentially tyranny. As of the time of this recording, 4 hours ago, Jim Acosta just quit CNN live on TV and encouraged people to, what did he say? Don't give in to the lies. Don't give in to the fear. That's what he said. It's his final sign off from CNN, his abrupt ending after 18 years as a journalist there. When journalists do shit like that, it's terrifying. Hillary Clinton is online sounding the alarm about Trump cutting off federal aid to like everyone. There's some question as to whether Medicaid is going to be paid out. Like, you're not going to pay for people's health insurance? Like, what? But Hillary Clinton is having like the appropriate level meltdown. Chuck Schumer as well. The country is a mess. It's an absolute fucking mess. You can hear like the frustration in my voice. Like I'm not even in the country right now. I'm outside the bubble and I'm still like, this is a like 5-alarm fucking fire, people. Like, I feel like we're in a living simulation of how bad can it be, and it's only set to get worse. And I don't like to be alarmist, but this is bad. Shit is always bad for Black people. This is like crazy shit. Between Acosta and Trump, like stopping the aid, like the DEI stuff, like, I mean, it sucks. It's lasted way longer than I expected. America is America after all. Also, scrolling online, there's a truck driver. He's like, I'm out here, I'm stranded in California. He was like, usually I come out here and I pick up, like a whole truckload of like produce, like, strawberries, lemons, like whatever. He was like, usually it's about 22 pallets that I have to pick up. And he was like, this order was like for 13. So like almost a little more than half of what he usually does. But he's like, all right, whatever. And the order got canceled because it wasn't enough pallets worth picking up, because there's not enough workers, immigrants, legal or otherwise, who pick the crops aren't showing up for work because they're afraid of ICE and that they're going to be rounded up and on the upside deported. Who knows what happens to people, mothers, fathers, cousins, brothers, nephews, sons, daughters, them and they. They're rounding people up. They're threatening. I think earlier today, they were like, oh, we'll just send everybody to El Salvador, like, which could possibly work if you're from El Salvador. Like, maybe you can connect with your other family members and have some sort of support system somewhere. But if you don't, then what the fuck are you doing in El Salvador? Like, what? The people, the quote unquote criminals who are, committing all this crime, but yet showing up to work in the field every day and make sure that the, country is supplied with, produce so that we can have like a balanced diet and proper nutrition. People ain't showing up to work. People ain't showing up to work to pick the crops. So the driver ain't got no produce to pick up. He ain't got nothing to take to wherever he was driving it to and make it to stores. So like, what we gonna eat, y'all? This is crazy. We're 8 days into the new administration, which includes a weekend. This is we're fucked. And I don't have answers. No one seems to have answers, which is even more alarming. Like, they're like, this is illegal, this is unconstitutional, but like, what are y'all doing to stop it? Like, this whole federal aid thing, I mean, there's so much wrong. Just basic, like Meals on Wheels, like is a federally funded program that is not going to receive its funding. So like the seniors that rely on Meals on Wheels for food, like, but they're going to eat. This is crazy. If I was in a better mood, I would sing it like, the way Lauryn Hill does, but this isn't the time for like jokes and kiki. Like, this is, yeah. When we're trying to make progress, life's curveballs often feel like taking one step forward and 2 steps back. A Chime checking account makes financial progress easier with features like no maintenance fees, fee-free overdraft up to $200, or getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Learn more at chime.com/ratchet. With Chime, you're joining a community with millions of members who are working on financial progress. Chime helps you make progress with fee-free overdraft up to $200. Your next deposit is applied to your balance. Get spotted on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. To date, Chime has spotted over $30 billion. And my favorite part about Chime, they make it easy to access your money with over 50,000 fee-free ATMs. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/ratchet. That's chime.com/ratchet. Chime feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank North America or Stride Bank North America. Members FDIC. Spot Me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-state network ATMs. Before we get into the Harlem recaps, which I promised, I did put them up on social media. So if you prefer to read them rather than listen to them, they're both there. I'm going to give spoilers in this conversation. So if you've not watched the first 2 episodes that dropped on Amazon last week, I gave plenty of time before I did reviews for people to go ahead and watch. I want to talk just briefly about Target dropping its DEI initiative. There is rumor that they're, going to do something else by a different name. DEI has become a dirty word or a dirty acronym, if you will. Walmart and Amazon, obviously, because Bezos is very much in bed with the new administration, promptly dropped their DEI initiatives. And there were people that have been holding out, Costco being one of them. I was reading earlier today that Costco is under fire from a bunch of Republican state's attorneys to get rid of its DEI program. I'm reading this on yahoo.com. It says 19 state's attorneys sent letters to the CEO of Costco. What was included in the letter, this is at least one from the Iowa Attorney General. It says, quote, while other companies right the ship and abandon their illegal woke policies. We're using woke in official, legal language now? Okay. It says Costco has doubled down. The letter continues, I'm putting Costco on notice to do the right thing and eliminate discriminatory DEI. No American should be denied an opportunity because they don't fit the woke mold. Jesus. Costco insists that its DEI program is fully legal. The CEO responded directly to customers, emphasizing that the company doesn't rely on quotas, but instead focuses on offering equal opportunities and fair pay to all employees. It says the DEI policies help attract and retain talented employees, foster innovation, and strengthen relationships with customers and suppliers. The CEO continued, we welcome members from all walks of life. A diverse workforce brings creativity to our products, better understands customer preferences, and reflects the diverse backgrounds of the members we serve. Thank you. Thank you. That's all DEI is. But dirty word now. I imagine that this was what Target was trying to avoid. They folded to avoid lawsuits, essentially. You're so fucked. With Amazon and Walmart, big boxes, bailing on DEI, the idea was, well, at least we have Target. And, Black folks, not that Black folks don't love Walmart, but Black folks love Target. And there's a running joke with, I don't really exist in white spaces. I don't know if they do this too. But the idea that, you go to Target to pick up a box of tampons and then you end up buying a cartload of other shit. You go to spend $20 and you don't leave spending less than $100. It's the running joke of Target. Target has had lots of products targeting Black folks. They sell a lot of, at least the ones near my house, there are several. The shelves are lined with Black girl hair products. If I'm having a hair emergency after hours, if the beauty supply store is closed, Target is open, I can get something to hold me over that works for my hair. Target announced that it was canceling its DEI program. Tabitha Brown is is one of the faces of Black people products at Target. There's also, off the top of my head, Honey Pot, the lip bar. These are products that I purchased from Target. I don't even wear lipstick like that. I like the marketing campaigns of the lip bar. And so I buy lip bar products because I want to like fund their marketing campaign. I like the image they present of Black women. It's a Detroit-based business, or at least the owner is from Detroit. My mom is from Detroit. I spent a lot of time in Detroit growing up. It's Black as fuck. So Target announces that it's canceling its DEI program. And many people were like, well, Tabitha, like, speak to us, say something. What are you going to do? I saw the pandemonium about her building online, and I shot her a DM. Like, hey, just so you're clear, you don't have to answer it to anybody but God. All these people are clamoring for you to make some sort of statement. You don't have to say shit. If you want to say something, like, take your time, like, move on God's time. Let God tell you what to do, how to move, like, pray about it, fast about it. You and your husband and your business partners and all of that. Like, y'all think on it for a minute. Please don't have a knee-jerk reaction and feel like you have to adjust people. Like, God's time. I think I put it in caps. I hope I put it in caps. She initially addressed the response in a video where she was on camera. She was eating some grapes, and, she was conveying and facial expression and lip expression. She had a whole conversation with her Black audience about her, I would say, what the fuck? She don't curse, but that's what it conveyed. It's Target thinking. What are they doing? That's what I took away from watching her initial response. And then she came back with another video and used her words. She's in a position, which is why I was like, on God's time, like, there's no rush. She's in a position where she's the Black face of a company that just distances itself from Black people. And she's under contract with them. Like, they cut a check. I would imagine a good check because they've been business partners for a while. And to the best of my knowledge, her products move off shelves. She's had several releases through Target. If it wasn't selling, they wouldn't keep dropping it. They just cut the contract and move on. She's in a no-win position. She could say, fuck Target and this is some bullshit. And then now it's an issue with Target. She could say, keep supporting Target. She pisses off all the people who are pissed about them pulling out of DEI. She took a middle of the road stance. She took the stances about business, but she also took a stance like as a Black person. She was like, I know people are upset about the DEI initiative, and I'm paraphrasing here, but the core of what she said is continue to support these Black businesses that are a part of Target's program. Don't penalize these Black people who have their products in Target, especially right before Black History Month and this massive drop and this massive business opportunity for these Black folks. Don't penalize Black business because you're upset with a corporate giant. Which for her, I mean, she's a businesswoman. She's trying to protect her own interests. And she's fighting a battle on multiple fronts. Because as she said in her video addressing Target, she's got items in Target, she's got items in Walmart, and she's got stuff on Amazon. All three of them have dropped their DEI initiatives. I don't know what her deals are. I haven't read Tabitha's contracts. But I would imagine Target, Amazon, and Walmart are a significant portion of her multiple income streams. To just be like, fuck these contracts, I'm out, would be a serious financial hit. She's between a rock and a hard place, and it's not of her own doing. It's not like something she did. She is an entrepreneur. She has products to sell. The goal for many people is to get into the big box stores. And if you sell, they cut you a nice check on the back end. Less labor, more money, more visibility. These are usually good things. It seems to me folks are more mad at Tabitha for trying to save her businesses than they are at actual Target for bailing on Black folks after Black folks done spent all their damn money there. It absolutely feels like a betrayal for all of them, but especially Target. Now, empathy goes out for Tabitha. I don't have stuff in big box stores, but just as a business owner, I can't imagine like my three likely, because again, I don't know her numbers, that the combination of the three has got to take up a significant chunk of her revenue stream. I can't imagine like, I don't know, a significant chunk of my revenue stream bailing on me because I'm Black. People be like, oh, well, you're Black and you got to fight the power and fuck capitalism. And that's cool till you got like a mortgage. And I only bring this up because it was done publicly. A retired husband who's relying on your income. Two of the children are grown. She has a young son. I'm sure he's in private school. They got a big ass house with a mortgage. They got a bunch of pretty cars. I don't know if they paid off. Folks got bills and responsibilities, hopes, goals, and dreams. That's a hard place to be in. I have empathy. She felt moved to say something and she did. And it is what it is. Folks are like really going in on her like she did something wrong. She trying to figure this shit out in real time, just like the rest of us. I'm biased because I really like Tabitha, but I think I've proven before I can be unbiased about shit. Like, I hate Tyrese, but like, I still admit the motherfucker can sing. Cynthia Erivo get on my fucking nerves, but every time I say it, I talk about how talented she is. If I thought Tabitha was dead ass wrong, I would say I think Tabitha is dead ass wrong. I wouldn't drag her out of respect, but I don't think that there's a right and a wrong in her situation. I think I'm trying to save what the fuck I built and not like lose, maybe not everything, but like a significant chunk of everything while still trying to have integrity. And I don't know how that works in this situation. It's crazy for everybody, self included. Speaking of integrity, I can't remember if we talked about this or not. Snoop, Nelly, Rick Ross, and Soulja Boy going to DC to perform for Trump's inauguration. It wasn't like the official, like, in the Rotunda event, but various balls in the city. I think Crypto Ball is the one Snoop performed at, but there's tons of parties in the city. There's been some backlash. I don't see it being anywhere near the level of Chrisette Michele, but it has been enough that Snoop has addressed it. Before I tell you what he said this time, I want to tell you what he said back in 2018. I'm reading this on page 6, and they're quoting Snoop from an interview he did on DJ Sus One show. Sus had said something about some of his fans might support Trump, and Snoop's response was, quote, "I tell them straight up, motherfucker. If you like that nigga, you motherfucking racist. Fuck you and fuck him." 2018. He has clearly had a change of heart. One of the founders of Death Row Records, Harry O, is a friend of Snoop. He'd served 33 years on charges of attempted murder, and Trump pardoned him in 2021. So maybe that's what's led to Snoop's change of heart, which, for the record, I take the stance on him the same one that he took on Trump back then. But Snoop had a change of heart. In his more recent interviews, he's tried to do this, I believe in love thing. And I was like, what? He says, for all the hate, which good, I'm glad that he's feeling it. But he said, for all the hate, I'm going to answer with love. I love too much. He says, get your life right. Stop worrying about mine. I'm cool. I'm together. Still a black man. Still 100% black. All out till you ball out or till you fall out. Like, nigga, rhyming the pimp shit. Like, it's not going to get you out of this one. He continues. This is the video he posted online. He said, we got to learn to pick each other up instead of pulling each other down. That's what we great at as black people. We great at tearing each other down. He says, you can be up one minute and they'll try to pull you down the next. But I'm a strong black man. I'm cut from a different cloth. You can't tear me down. I'm one of God's child, one of his children. He concludes, y'all stay strong. The only way to beat hate is with love. Learn from the dog. Teach you something every day. Nigga, fuck you. Seriously? I want to know what the check was, because Snoop does believe in a check. He is a hardworking man. He stays with a check. He stays with a job. I want to know what the check was for him to sell out like this. It better be good. It better be good, because he don't need the money. I don't know the man's bills and such, but he's on a network show right now. He's earning good coin. He just did this as a little side quest. And just why? You had the goodwill of all the people after the Olympics. You very easily just could have stood down and just left everybody to still love you. Like, I don't understand the appeal of this man and why people are willing to go to such crazy lengths to kiss the ring and support him. I do not get it. While I'm on the topic, I want to just say a few quick things about Chrisette Michele. Chrisette Michele performed at inauguration directly for Trump, who she, by the way, never met, at his first inauguration, and her career was derailed and to this day has not recovered. In 2019, the Washington Post did a story on her. I pulled it up the other day. I was online and people were talking about Snoop and Nelly, and I chimed in. That young woman lost everything for a performance where she was paid $75,000. She was like, that's more than she'd ever made for a performance before. So she took the money. And she pointed out in the article, she said, like, I never even met Trump. She's like, I didn't vote for him. She's like, after she performed and people turned on her, she said she experienced feelings of depression. She said she had a miscarriage. She heavily implies that it had something to do with some of the things that she faced, the backlash as a result of performing at the inauguration. But like, she lost everything. She lost everything. And Nelly and Snoop and Soulja Boy and Rick Ross, they're not going to suffer the same fate. They're feeling it a little bit. Like Nelly and Snoop have given interviews where they're irritated, but life is going to go on for them. I mean, and admittedly, they're probably bigger stars or more established. Nelly's been around forever and a day, as opposed to Chrisette had only been out for a few years when she performed. So I guess like they have enough goodwill, or there are enough black men that believe in Trump's policies. Because a lot of black men, I shouldn't say a lot, but almost like a fifth of black men voted for Trump. And they also all have significant mainstream following, i.e. a lot of white folks follow them. So they'll be okay. But it's just really trash. They did the exact same thing that Chrisette Michele did, and they're not going to suffer the same fate. 47 just in 8 days is even worse than he was as 45. In good news, just since I've been recording, I just got another breaking news alert. I've gotten several today, all related to policies of the new administration. For the record, 47 is like on a golf course. I'm like, you've been at work a week and you already on vacation on a work day? I can't do that if I start a new job. But a court is blocking his attempt to defund like everything. Think until next week. So at least on that front, we get a couple days of reprieve. Old people will be at least able to eat for the rest of the week. Can't believe this shit. Small victories. Now we can discuss Harlem. Obviously, I'm not going to give any spoilers for episodes that we have not seen. Episodes 1 and 2 are on Amazon. I'm biased. Like I said before, I like the new season. I like it lots and lots. Quinn is my favorite character. Camille and her, I was going to say rampant, and I was like, is that the right word or is it rabid? I think it's rampant and rabid. Desperation are driving me up a complete wall. She and Ian broke up at the end of season 2. And at the top of season 3, they decide to be like, I guess you can't call it fuck buddies, exes with benefits. They decide to essentially keep fucking. This was always going to end bad, and it perhaps ends worse than Camille expected. It's one thing when somebody calls something off because at least you have a definitive answer. Ian just sort of stops hanging out with her one day. Like they have sex and he realizes that he's running late. And she asks like, hey, like what's going on? And he was like, oh, well, I'm seeing people. And so she's like, oh, okay. She tries to ask him some questions and he says, hey, we aren't going to talk about that. Like we agreed. And she's like, yeah. So she was like, well, go out and, see whoever you're seeing. She's assuming it's something light, casual, that he's not serious. And then, maybe you could come back later. And he was like, yeah, like I'll come back and get you right. Like he'll come back and do something for her, but it's not something he's really interested in doing for himself. It's like almost like a favor. Right then, I would have been like, okay, well, I'll never call and I'll never text. Camille doesn't see him again for approximately 2 months, at which point she thinks she can entice him to come on by and have sex with her by sending him a clit pic, like the female equivalent of a dick pic, I suppose. Yeah, no. He gives her, was it a thumbs up? I would have blocked him from my phone just off of that. Camille doesn't seem to take a hint. She goes out with the girls later and she runs into him and his new boo. Apparently it's like an old friend of his, because she was like, oh no, that's just so-and-so. Like she's like a sister to him. And then, he grabs her ass and tongues her down. And that's when she realizes like, oh, that's why he's not calling me back. And she still continues to reach out to him. And I was like, yo, the level of desperation here. It's almost like Quinn and Camille almost like traded places, because Quinn is like a whole different person. She finds a new client at the beginning of the episode who invites her to a leftovers party. So people invite their exes that they can vouch for to come to this party. And the woman tells Quinn, she was like, come and meet someone. Come and meet a daddy. The woman has a daddy who takes care of her and, picks up the tab, at least on her dresses. I'm going to go ahead and assume other things as well, because she lives in this really beautiful apartment. Quinn goes to the party and she meets our beloved Kofi Siriboe, a.k.a. Ralph Angel. He had at one point seemingly like put on some grown man weight, which I wasn't mad at, but he's taken his grown man weight off and he is straight up chiseled in the face again and the body. It's just a beautiful, lovely, just balanced breakfast looking man. But Quinn meets him at the party. He puts on his A game for her. He talks his big man talk and Quinn agrees to have the intimacy with him, have the sex with him. She says she's not looking for anything serious and basically she wants to just get her back blown out. And he's like, I could do that. And did. They wake up together the next morning and he's having a wardrobe malfunction. He has an event and his stylist is nowhere to be found, nor is the wardrobe bag containing whatever he's supposed to wear on the red carpet. So Quinn, who, works in fashion, has a solution. So she looks out for him. And just from the previews, it hints that there's more to come from their situation. I'll leave it at that. Let's see. Ty, at the end of season 2, she was involved with a woman who she really was interested in. Like, she wanted to build something with that woman, but they weren't like official yet. So she had like a little jump off. The little jump off was the woman's daughter. That didn't go over very well. It crossed Ty's boundaries. So she's decided to abstain from dating, sexual relations, all of the above. She says she's getting herself together. And Quinn asked her at one point, and she was like, are you punishing yourself? And she's like, no, I'm not. But I actually think she is. But she's starting a new business. She closed her previous business, and she's looking for new investors. And one of the representatives for this new company is our lovely friend, Gail Bean. I love me some Gail. Gail from, Gail was in Snowfall. Franklin's number 2 with the afro. She was his girlfriend, Wanda. And she was like real, real cute. Then she got addicted to crack. Leon, that was the number 2. And then she got off crack and they moved to Africa. And then for whatever reason, I will never understand, decided to move back to America. Like, that part of the storyline, I was like, wait, what? But she's seemingly setting up to be Ty's new love interest in this final season of Harlem, which I find exciting. Oh, Angie's engaged to that man with the lopsided hair. He's actually really cute. If you just look at him like just in the face and ignore the hair if it's possible, he's actually a nice looking guy. The hair is a choice that I don't fully understand. Apparently that's how the actor wears his hair in like real and regular life, like not for TV. This is not something that hair and wardrobe decided to work on together. There's not some artistic statement about the hair. This is his hair. I'm going to move along. He's Angie's fiance. They are working on planning a wedding. They seem to have they have entirely different views of how they want the wedding to go. He's talking about very classic New York at the Waldorf. And Angie's like inspired by 3 viewings of Renaissance. And I was like, it's very on character for both of them. Opposites do attract. I'm just trying to figure out like what is the common ground between them, because I can't figure it out. There seems to be some sort of like sexual chemistry, which is a good reason to have sex. Was the bad reason to get married, I think. I don't quite get it. But he very much wants to be married like immediately. Angie doesn't seem to share his enthusiasm. I do not support this relationship, and I'm confused why it's happening. But it makes for a great story. I'll give it that. Back to Ian and Camille, which I'm suffering through them. They're turning into the Harlem version of Big and Carrie, by which I mean he is completely uninterested and Camille seems unable to take the hint. After she sees him with old girl, she crashes out and she sends him this long ass text message ranting and raving. He finally responds to her and was like, hey, I don't owe you an explanation like of anything that I do because we're not even together. So like, what's the problem? She ends up popping up at his house and old girl is there too. And I was like, girl, you look crazy and desperate. Where is your pride, friend? Where is your pride? I feel like her friends did try to tell her, like when she was crashing out at the restaurant, sending him the text, both Quinn and Ty were like, girl, don't do that. How about you take a beat? And then like they heard the whoosh sound. But I was like, they need to tell her, like, once I think Miranda said to Carrie, it was like, you know what, we're just friends. We're not equipped. You need more than what we can do. You need professional intervention. You need a therapist. But Ian flatly tells Camille, he was like, hey, I'm in this new situation. Like, it's serious and it's official. And basically, I don't want you no more. Which, I don't know. I think I would have taken the hint. If nothing else, she sent him a clip pic and he gave her a thumbs up. How less interested can you be in someone? Like, here, I got my pussy on a platter. Do you want it? I'm good. The end of the episode, Camille leaves Columbia. She has a book deal now. She's going to write a book about dating, which I only mention because, gigantic spoiler, remember the end of season 2, one of the girls was pregnant? We could rule out Ty because she don't fuck men. But Angie, Camille, Quinn, we're all contenders. We had a very long conversation in the writer's room about who should be pregnant and the pros and cons of each and what best served the story. I will tell you that Camille was not the first choice. Somebody else was decided on. We were still plotting out story and they circled back and changed it to Camille to serve the story better. I really like the other version of events. Not better. I just liked it. Full stop. So Camille is pregnant by Ian, which I was like, girl, do you even have health insurance? Because like she quit her good job at Columbia. She had benefits there. I mean, I guess she could get some COBRA or something, some Obamacare. It's expensive not to have health care. She's going to eat up her whole book advance trying to do prenatal appointments and actually like have the baby, sans insurance. That's a lot. The conversations we have on this show really get me thinking. And when I want to dive deeper or level up, I want to hear from the best. Luckily, I can do just that with Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best. For just $10 a month, an annual membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. And you can access Masterclass on your phone, computer, smart TV, or even audio mode. Use improv to overcome your fears with Amy Poehler, or turn your passion into achievements with cultural icon Martha Stewart. And the classes really make a difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their life. I watched the Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix, and I just wanted more and more Martha Stewart. Masterclass had me covered. Martha's Masterclass will teach you how to think outside the box and level up. I loved it. Masterclass is offering an exclusive offer for Ratchet and Respectable listeners at masterclass.com/ratchet. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/ratchet. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/ratchet. Masterclass.com/ratchet. Episode 2 is the other 3 women's stories take a back burner to focus on Camille trying to figure out what to do about this baby, to keep or not to keep. She goes to her OBGYN and it's kind of like, WTF, you told me I couldn't get pregnant. And she was like, that's not what I said. I said that, you had like a 5% or less chance of getting pregnant. It would be difficult. The odds are not in your favor, but like, I never said never. Like, Camille then goes to lunch with her friends and she was like, I don't know how this happened. And Ty was like, yeah, because you let him spray the club up. Like, this is like basic biology. And so she was like, yeah, but like, I thought I couldn't get pregnant. So like, yeah, I did let him essentially like ejaculate in me multiple times and didn't expect to get pregnant. And I was like, oh, you are a college professor at an Ivy League university. Like the doctor said it would be difficult. She said it wasn't likely. She didn't say it was impossible. Ma'am, you deserve to be pregnant. You asked to be pregnant. I don't understand how you're not planning to get pregnant and then let somebody shoot up the club. It takes Camille forever and a day and multiple tries, actually, to tell Ian that she's pregnant because, like, she told him she didn't want to talk to him. She told him when she popped up at his house that she was going to block him. And so she tries to call him and he was like, what are you calling me for? You said I was blocked. So she was like, we need to talk. And he was like, nah, I'm good. So she ends up texting him a screenshot of the ultrasound of the baby. And his response was like 3 exclamation points. And I was like, ma'am, if you don't get on the phone with the clinic like immediately, she ends up going to Ian's house. And I was like, girl, why do you stay at this man's house 24/7? But they have like a conversation, a grown person conversation about, what it is and what it isn't. And Camille was like, I really haven't decided what to do. And Ian seems very confused. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, you would not have my baby? Like, I wanted to have a baby with you and you didn't want that, which is why we broke up. But like, I still want to have this baby. Like, it's my baby. Like, don't I get a say? And she's like, no. And she was like, just like, painting the picture of what this situation is. You are in a relationship, which Ian's very clearly being like, I'm not leaving. Like, I'm not going to do that to Portia. So you're in a relationship, a new relationship at that, with this new girl who you've known forever, friend of the family, like a sister to you, but y'all have crossed the line and y'all are in this thing and she clearly means a lot to you. And so you're going to tell her that your ex-girlfriend is pregnant? That's the scenario that you want for your life? Like, this is messy. And he was like, okay, yeah, I still want to do it. Why? Camille was like, well, I have a lot to think about. Camille calls her mother, who we've met her mother before. Her mother seems to have like some mental issues. I'm not sure exactly what. Something is going on. But she talks to her mother. Her mother is a mess, which I was like, oh, like this kind of explains why Camille is so all over the place. She tries to go to speak to Ian again. He actually does reach out and say that he wants to talk further about it. But she goes to speak to him again, another pop-up at his house, which I was like, you got to stop running up on people's houses like this. Like, WTF, girl. But Aunt Tammy is there, aka the Bevy, my Bevy, Bevy Smith. Aunt Tammy tells her a story about her own unexpected pregnancy, and she opted to terminate. But she tells Camille, there's no easy solutions here. This is very hard, yes. Make the decision that will leave you with the least regrets. And Camille's like, yeah, but like, what about my mom? Like, my mom is a trash mother. Like, am I going to be a trash mom? And she was like, that's not how that works. It's not like hereditary. You can be whatever kind of mother that you want to be. So Camille takes all of this in and she decides that she's going to have this baby, which I was like, I would have been at the clinic early on. It wouldn't even been a back and forth for me, but that's just me. She's choosing to have the baby. Ian, unbeknownst to Camille, is at Camille's OBGYN. And then also Portia. At some point, Portia had her eggs frozen. And within the 2 months that she has been reunited with Ian, has decided that she will fertilize all of her eggs with his sperm, which I was like, girl, what? All y'all fucking crazy. The doctor tells Portia, we have 4 viable fertilized eggs here. I think she said 3 boys and a girl. Portia's like over the moon. She was like, I've always wanted to become a mom. We're so excited about becoming parents. And the doctor's like, well, what's the timeline here? Because we could insert and you could be pregnant next month. And I was like, so wait. Ian hasn't said shit to Portia about Camille being pregnant. I mean, maybe he's thinking kind of like Camille. She was like, well, I don't know if I even need to tell him until I make a decision about what to do. But she tells him anyway. I guess Ian's kind of like, well, Camille's on the fence. So maybe if she doesn't have this baby, there's no reason to actually tell Portia. But then he gets a text while he's at the doctor's office from Camille saying like, oh, hey, and by the way, I've decided to have the baby. Literally, congratulations, Dad, is what she says to him. Portia's sitting up here trying to figure out whether she should have these embryos implanted in her or how many of them even. And he don't say shit. And I was like, bruh, you don't think maybe this now could be the time to speak up? So you don't have 2 women pregnant at the same time, one of them possibly with multiple babies? It's good TV plot-wise, but I was like, this is a hot fucking mess. And the whole second episode, there was no sighting of Ralph Angel. And I was like, hey, you know what I'm here for. You know what I'm here for. Give me what I want. Ian is fine as fuck. Tyler Lepley is a gorgeous, blessed man. But he's so awful on the show. His character, I liked him in previous seasons, but he's so awful this season. I don't care for him anymore. I don't. Like, I can see the beauty, but I don't feel the beauty. I'm not excited about the beauty. All right, that's the episode. We'll be back next week. Please pick up your copies of King. People have picked it up since last episode and have already started reading. This woman literally just hit me while I was recording. She was like, I'm 100 pages in, and this is like an amazing book. She also asked, and she was like, hey, remind people, everyone doesn't have the time to like sit down and actually read a book. The book is available on audio. If you don't have the time to sit down and read, maybe you can listen while you're in the car, on the treadmill. It all counts. We are not snobbish here about like whether you read or whether you listen. Consume the information however it feels best and fit to you. And then be ready for our discussions, plural, in February. Does that work? I hope it does. All right. We'll talk on Friday. Bye. The conversations we have on this show really get me thinking. And when I want to dive deeper or level up, I want to hear from the best. Luckily, I can do just that with Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best. For just $10 a month, an annual membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. And you can access Masterclass on your phone, computer, smart TV, or even audio mode. Use improv to overcome your fears with Amy Poehler, or turn your passion into achievements with cultural icon Martha Stewart. And the classes really make a difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their life. I watched the Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix and I just wanted more and more Martha Stewart. Masterclass had me covered. Martha's Masterclass will teach you how to think outside the box and level up. I loved it. Masterclass is offering an exclusive offer for Ratchet and Respectable listeners at masterclass.com/ratchet. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/ratchet. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/ratchet. Masterclass.com/ratchet. The conversations we have on this show really get me thinking. And when I want to dive deeper or level up, I want to hear from the best. Luckily, I can do just that with Masterclass. With Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best. For just $10 a month, an annual membership with Masterclass gets you unlimited access to every instructor. And you can access Masterclass on your phone, computer, smart TV, or even audio mode. Use improv to overcome your fears with Amy Poehler, or turn your passion into achievements with cultural icon Martha Stewart. And the classes really make a difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass has made a positive impact on their life. I watched the Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix and I just wanted more and more Martha Stewart. Masterclass had me covered. Martha's Masterclass will teach you how to think outside the box and level up. I loved it. Masterclass is offering an exclusive offer for Ratchet and Respectable listeners at masterclass.com/ratchet. Right now, our listeners get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/ratchet. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/ratchet. Masterclass.com/ratchet.